Welcome, citizen, to another Starcraft Nation broadcast. I am your host, Whitera, and in today's cast, this will be the third and final matchup in between Whitera and Tarson. Tarson corresponding as the Terran, and Whitera the ever-loving Protoss player. We will be on Starcraft Plateau, and just to give you a little rehash of what's going on with this, is the Go4SC2 series, and this matchup has gone back and forth. This is a best of three. This is the third matchup. We've seen both Whitera and Tarson take one victory. Whitera took the first matchup in between Tarson with Colossus, Stalkers, and Zealots, basically just crushing Tarson's first army that came out there and not giving him a second chance to break and basically build up. And anyway, the second game, we saw them going on Metalopolis, or I'm sorry, that was the first game. They played the first one on Metalopolis. The second matchup there, we saw Whitera on Delta Quadrant go up with early Blink Stalkers. Wasn't able to make them effective. Tarson actually walled off his back ramp, which is pretty awesome. Also put a supply depot down on the lower area to make sure that he could see if there was a proxy pylon there or if any Stalkers decided to show up. And that allowed him to basically counter the Blink Stalkers, not allowing the Stalkers to get inside the base. Had tanks out there as well, finally got the siege tech, and Tarson basically just crawled his way over there, defeated the Stalkers with his tanks and Marines, and pretty much wrapped that one up as the final moments he was sieging the main base of Whitera. So right now, we've seen both players have been bested at least once, but it looks like we're seeing relatively standard, though, relatively standard openers. Of course, I mean, we don't see any proxies, no cheese, nothing of that nature, no Terran contain attempts or anything like that right now. But we do see Whitera always putting down really crucial pylons. I like where he kind of sticks them off in the nooks and crannies, because this is a huge base. I mean, this is, I think that's even bigger than the Metalopolis base. In fact, I'm quite sure that it's bigger. One of the largest main bases. So we have all these nooks and crannies for drops, for floating barracks, for Nidus worms to come in there, for warp prisms, all sorts of crazy crap coming from your enemy. Now, Whitera getting the second assimilator way before Tarson has even began to think about grabbing that other Vespene. So Whitera once again kind of grabbing a assimilator. I mean, we are at 22, and that's nothing to be unheard of. But the last kind of tech build we saw Whitera go for, it was the same kind of. He basically just jumped on both of those relatively quick. We do see the chrono boosting of the warp gate technology coming out here, and we don't see any other production facilities coming out at the moment. We do see 2 Stalkers queued up, and we may be seeing more of the same from Whitera, as last time we saw him going ahead and just building those Stalkers. Of course, he is supply locked right now. That's a bad place. We are actually waiting for that pylon to be coming in, so not too supply locked, but we did see him bring out the Stalkers early on, starting to build up and pushing out and doing a little bit of early pressure, as we see Tarson doing the exact same kind of thing. We see the factory down. We actually see him grabbing a Hellion before a reactor or tech lab, as we generally see him grab a tech lab right here, probably be doing a hop with the starport, probably be grabbing a Raven. So Tarson basically sticking to his guns, as this is the 111 is a very it's a great start off, for the simple fact is you can roll into just about any other build, as you can go from there. You can go heavy mech, from there you can go 3 racks, from there you can go Banshee harass, all of that. So right now we do have the Hellion tearing ass trying to find this main base of Whitera, but of course this is definitely not the place, and now that he is trapped, he will be easily dispatched. And oh, actually, will he be able to make it? Yes, he does barely make it up there with 5 HP. Is there a Stalker waiting for him, though, is the question. No, there isn't. There is a probe, though. Is that probe going to kill him? No. In fact, this Stalker is going to kill him, dispatch him. But that would have been pretty awesome if this probe had killed that Hellion with his particle beam. So right now, we do have 3 Stalkers on the field for Whitera. We do see Blink being researched right now. We do see more and more Stalkers being chrono boosted, as this great pylon placement right there, as he is able to go ahead and drop them down to the lower ground. So once again, Whitera looking to put early pressure on Tarson, and Tarson is actually starting to build a command center, so looking to expand here relatively soon. And we do have the bunker going down this front door. Now this bunker is going to be pivotal for keeping these Stalkers at bay. Now, of course, all it's going to take is one Stalker coming up here, then blinking up Or, likewise, we could see the Stalkers come over here, try to grab vision. I don't think that there's enough vision with this Zelnaga tower. Let's go take a look real quick. Is it? Oh, there is just barely enough to jump up here on this high ground. So is Tarson going to be ready for this, though? I don't believe so, as we have nothing back here really to see what's going on. So we might see Whitera jumping up here on the high ground and attacking these rocks. That would be pretty brutally awesome. Meanwhile, though, we do have a Banshee coming out here, looking around, snooping, trying to find a weakness, trying to find a point of attack. And yes, we do actually have the Stalkers moving out here and will be attacking this rock. So Whitera is setting himself up for a grand attack right here, as Tarson, though he does have barracks and he does have Marines, doesn't look like he'll have enough. And actually, this Banshee does see what's going on, will cloak, and will start to attack Whitera's units, as I don't know if it's going to be in time, though. Meanwhile, in Whitera's base, we do actually have an SCV up here as well, and Whitera is forced to evacuate his probes in fear of the looming destruction of the Banshee, and we just barely have enough for this Observer, so the Observer is going to warp in and will be trying to make something happen here. Meanwhile, we do have the forces of Whitera moving into the main of Tarson. We do have a tank and a Banshee, will be adding their fire. Will there be enough coming from the will there be enough coming from the Stalkers here, though, as they are racking up the kills here? But the Marines are just trying to get a hold of them, trying to make something happen here, as Whitera is almost forced out. Yes, well, he is making a stand. I would like to see Tarson move his units into that bunker, but these tanks are just going to be tearing into these guys, as we do see a medevac coming back over here. We'll be trying to heal the units there. We do see the Stalkers blinking away from the main base, and it looks like this Banshee, ooh, yes, there we go. The Banshee was just too much, as basically this Banshee, once again, was a key part. We've seen Tarson basically win twice because of a Banshee. Whitera forced to evacuate his mineral line and cut all production, as he was putting massive pressure on the main of Tarson, though. Tarson was basically just stabbing him in the kidneys, and really that's what ended up winning it here. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Please let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see. And if you like what's going on, thumbs up, leave comments. I love the comments. I don't like first being spammed on all of my videos, but, you know, whatever. There's definitely bigger things to be worrying about. And, of course, subscribe. You can become a citizen for free, and you get that awesome badge. And maybe I will make badges. That's actually a really great idea. Either way, thank you so much for joining me once again, guys. And as always, citizens, stay safe.